Hi guys, welcome to the last week of the Grow Bit by Bit in August, even though it is September 1st when I'm actually doing the video. I appreciate your guys' patience. Yesterday was just crazy and I knew it would be super late before I'd be able to do a live, so I figured today would be better. Hopefully people can watch after work and after they get the kids to sleep tonight and all that good stuff. This one won't be super long as far as the actual video. The tasks will take you a little bit longer than maybe some of the other ones. But of course, I'm not checking that stuff, so you guys can kind of do it in your free time. I definitely think that everything that was requested in this training has been super manageable, way more manageable than like Hustle to Director or any of that stuff. But these small tasks are what will carry over. And I wanted these tasks to be small and actionable and manageable so you could see that you can carry this stuff consistently. Because if we go so hard for a month, and that's great and all, but we don't feel like it's something that we can sustain, then we're not going to be consistent with it. And we all know that consistent word is like my favorite word. So I am more concerned with this program about giving you small tools that when you feel like you're struggling, you can think, okay, what did she have me do in that program? What do I feel like helped me? And you can go back to this. You can refer back to these videos. They're on the YouTube channel, and then they'll be in this group, and I don't ever like close out our training group. So you can come back to this group at any point. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed more of this laid back setup. I loved our Hustle to Director program, and I definitely think I'll be running more, but I wanted this specific one to be more laid back and be easier going just because of the fear with recruiting and how people have that great fear and they're always terrified. And I wanted to show you that it's not super scary and you can do things that will help you grow your team without actually ever even saying, hey, do you want to join my team? So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I told you guys at the beginning it'd be shorter and a little more laid back, so hopefully you guys weren't disappointed with that. We still lost some people just because of the time commitment, and that's totally fine. So if you did make it this far, you were some of the select few that A, signed up, which I think is personally the biggest step, is taking that first move to sign up, and B, continued through it for the entire month. So congratulations to you. Hopefully you guys got something valuable out of this that you can carry on through the fall. So as we wrap up, I just want to remind you that you should be continuing to share your brand. So that brand board that we made, Brooke did an awesome job of explaining how she incorporated it into her monthly newsletters. So really be thinking about outside of that brand board. I would love for you to have it as your background on your phone, or for you to print it out, or to have it somewhere that you can see it. So you can think about how you can incorporate that into your business daily, on your social media, within your packaging, in your marketing. All of that should be included in that brand. Remember to have that list of why, of what, of how, of whatever, what you love about Cincy. Remember that list we created a couple weeks ago where you shared like feelings that it gives you and things that you love outside of just extra cash and all of that stuff. Continue to grow that list. As you think of things that you love, for example, we just released this harvest collection. And for me, I love that feeling of not of waking up at 3 a.m. because I don't love that feeling. But I love the feeling of knowing I can take care of my customers. So that would be something that I could add to my growing list. That list should never run out. You should never run out of things to put on there, and you should constantly be growing that. So remember to have that list either on your phone, in your purse, on a notebook, whatever. Make sure you have that close to you. And really, I hope the biggest thing that you learned is that you have to share this lifestyle, this blessing regularly. You cannot share once a month. You cannot share even every couple weeks. You have to be consistently sharing. It has to be a part of your lifestyle. You have to show why you love Cincy so much, and it doesn't have to be salesy. So I hope that those tools are things that you've learned, and you'll carry those with you for whenever you grow that team. Some of you guys did grow your team this month, which is super exciting, and I'm not saying that that's entirely just due to this program. Some of you guys didn't, which is okay. I told you that they may not happen, that you may not be able to grow your team. That's okay, because what you do now will affect your business in 6 months. So if you start implementing these tools and start implementing these trainings now, 6 months from now, you will thank yourself. So once you have that team, what do you do? How do you train them? Where do you even start? So one of the biggest things that I love that someone shared with me is do for one what you can do for all. Be helpful if I could remember how to say it right. But just meaning that, yes, if you have one teammate, you want to spoil them and send them all the things and give them $100 to Starbucks and do all this stuff. But if you cannot do that for every team member that you will have in the future, don't do it for that one person. You're setting the bar way too high for yourself. So do for one what you can do for all. Make it simple. Keep it super simple. That includes trainings. Don't go overboard on trainings as one person. One, you might overwhelm them, but two, you can't do that for every person. So I'm gonna help you kind of streamline that and think about ways that you can make it easier for yourself. I can tell you I'm not gonna hold your hand on this because I want this to be something that you do personally. And like I said, I'm not checking this. So if you choose to ignore it and brush me off and never do it, that's fine. But whenever we have our little trainings and coaching calls together, I'm gonna ask you if you did this step. So I think it's super valuable, but we are all adults here and I'm not gonna hold your hand. Something I preach and I will talk about later this training, but it's completely up to you what you take away from this. So Cincy does, at the end of the day, give them tools. Cincy gave me everything I needed to end up right here, okay? So my sponsor was not super involved in my journey, and that's okay. I found the tools I needed. I went on YouTube and I trained myself. Not saying that to brag, I'm saying that to tell you that Cincy will give them the tools that they need. They will find the resources if they want it bad enough. So at the end of the day, anything you're doing is just simply extra. So give yourself grace. If you are still working on figuring out a system that you want to work, if you forgot to send them a welcome card on day one, but you remembered, after a couple weeks, that's okay. Still send them the card. Give yourself grace because, again, Cincy gives them everything that they need. Whatever you choose to do is completely extra. And on the flip side of that, don't ever ask them to do anything you wouldn't do yourself. So, meaning, don't ask them to get active every month if you're not even getting active. We all know that you have to have 500 PRV to even get paid off your team. So you should at least be reaching that. But I always say leaders should be shooting for 2,000. You get 30% commission and that is the ultimate goal. So if you want your team to have high PRV, you have to have high PRV yourself. If you want your team to recruit, you have to be recruiting yourself. If you want your team to comment and interact on Facebook group pages, you have to comment and interact on Facebook group pages. You cannot expect your team to do things that you're already not doing, okay? So as you ask your team to do things, ask yourself, am I doing this myself? Everything that I've given you this week, I've done alongside of you, or I already have it done, to where I'm like, I can't ask them to do this if I'm not even doing it myself. As far as promoting that and sharing, what you would like your team to do, Facebook groups have proven best for me for a team page. I know a couple other leaders do mass text communication, and that's fine too. Find what works for you and stick with it. Be consistent, find what works for you, and just stick with it. You will find your groove. You'll find what works best for you. It's going to take a lot of trial and error, but find what works for you and stick with it. Give yourself grace through the process. Let your team members know, hey, I'm trying out a new system. Do you mind being my guinea pig? We're going to try all this out together. Your team will respect you more if you show your vulnerability and show them that you're still learning right alongside of them. You should always be evolving and changing. You should never feel like you're stagnant in your business, let alone in coaching your team, because I think that's something that greatly changes and evolves. As long as you can admit that you don't know everything, but you'll help them find it, then you'll be the best leader, okay? On the opposite of that though, and this is where I really want to emphasize this, do not spoon feed your team. If your team member asks you, how much is the new that's not new, but how much is the Enchanted Pumpkin Warmer that's coming out today in this Harvest Collection release? Do not send them the answer and leave it at that. Say, hey, super cute, huh? A lot of my customers have been liking it too. Let me show you where you can find the answer to that, okay? You don't have to just give them the answer and move on. It is my biggest pet peeve. Whenever teammates expect to just be spoon-fed the answers and they're not willing to go find it themselves. Because if you spoon-feed them and you constantly give them the answers like that, they're never going to become independent and learn themselves. And at the end of the day, we are all independent Cincy consultants. Give them the tools, show them where to look. another thing that someone told me, and this has been so valuable for me, is you don't have to answer right away. If it's a Friday night and you have date night with your significant other, don't answer them for that. There's nothing that is an emergency in Cincy. So if they need an answer that bad, that quickly, they'll figure it out. They'll find someone who can answer it for them. They'll find the answer themselves. Don't feel like you have to answer right away. And that goes for your customers too. That is the fastest way to burn out, is to constantly feel like you have to answer your customers and your teammates just like that. You'll burn out faster than anything. And one of the best things that I've personally learned is not to take things personally. And this is really hard for me. I'm an emotional person. I take everything personally, but at the end of the day, they say 1 in 10 people will do something with this business. 1 in 10. So the rest of those 9 people that stay for a month or do absolutely nothing or only, put their 200 PRV in once a year, don't take that personally. That's a them problem. It's not a you problem. So don't take it personally and move on. Foster and grow those that want to learn, okay? They have to want it, and this is so big. They have to want it themselves. You cannot want it for them. That goes with sponsoring and recruiting and leading a team, because there's so many people that are like, oh, I know this person would be great, and they beg and plead and beg and plead, and then they get them to join, and then they're dragging them through the mud the whole time because they don't want to be there, so they're not finding out the answers themselves. They're constantly asking you for questions. They're super negative. So don't beg and plead for someone to join, and don't beg and plead for someone to work their business. They have to want it themselves. You give them the tools. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can give them the tools, but you can't make them work. So I really, really, really hope that these last 5 weeks have taught you that sponsoring doesn't have to feel gross. That's the number one thing. That it should be a part of what you naturally share. You should have that list, and anytime you feel like you want to share something about Cincy, you refer back to that list, and people will naturally see that positivity and that light and that excitement coming from you. You should be true to who you are whenever you do it. Don't ever, ever, ever change. It can be simple, but with small actionable steps, you can grow your team, so don't complicate it. You saw these last 5 weeks, small actionable steps that we did to foster growth within our business. And I promise you, if you focus on doing these steps that we have done these last 5 weeks for the next year, you will be amazed when you look back at what your team is a year from now. So commit to doing that. Commit to doing these small actionable steps every single day in your business, and you will be amazed at where this takes you. And I think the number one thing to remind you, I feel like I've said it 100 times, but I can't say it enough, is that it takes time and it takes consistency. And if you're not willing to put that in, then you can't be upset whenever you don't get the results that you want. If you're not willing to put in the time to do these tasks I'm asking you to do, if you're not willing to continue to do them even when things get tough, even whenever you're getting no recruits, even whenever you have a month that no one shows interest, then you can't be upset whenever you don't see the results that you want. You have to do these things even on the slow months, even on the months when it seems like no one's interested, even on the months that you feel like you have so much going on. Girl, I get you, but you gotta keep going, and you gotta just be consistent about it. So your tasks. So these are what I'm asking you to do. You don't have to do them if you don't want to, but again, if you want to have a coaching call with me ever and you say, I can't grow my team, I don't know what's going on, blah, 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 I'm gonna ask you if you did these steps, okay? So keep that in mind. So number one is to create, what is going on? is to create something to send to your frontline new recruits. So it can be something as easy and as simple as a postcard. Just welcoming them to the team, make it a handwritten note why you're so excited, why you think they'll be great at this. But figure out what you want to do for every single person that joins your team. Think about it, figure it out, write it down, write your plan. The next thing you'll do is to create something that you're going to send to them. So I used to create the new consultant packets that were tangible copies. So if you want to do that, where you have, like the compensation plan. Guys, this launch and this house selling, I got like no sleep. My brain's not working. The compensation plan, things about Scent and Warmer of the Month, all of that kind of flyer stuff, you can print that out and have it in a packet. Create 5 of those that are ready to go. Something I just recently implemented, because I'm constantly changing and growing, is an online version of that, or something similar that I am sending to their email. It's a Google Doc, and it has links. So it'll have certain links to the workstation that I found super helpful. I have a YouTube channel, so I created like 5 simple steps to whenever you become a new consultant that you can use my videos if you want. You can attach the link to that, but it's literally a Google Doc with these links that they can click on, and it'll take them to those trainings that they need, helpful resources on the workstation, stuff like that. So that's my program, that's my system. So I'm challenging you today to create something. Whether it's digital, create it. If you want to do tangible, create 5 of them ready to go, ready for your new recruit, okay? So think about, write your plan out, write exactly how you're going to implement it, and then do it. If you want it electronic, create it now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait until you have your first new recruit. Do it now. If you want it to be tangible that you can send them in the mail, create at least 5 of them. You can create more than that, but create at least 5 of them. And do that now. Do not wait until, oh, next time I get a new recruit, I'll just do it in bulk. No, go do it right now, and then you're going to take a picture of it, and you're going to post it on your social media about how you're so excited to get these training tools into new consultants' hands who want to learn and grow their business this fall. Okay? And then I'm going to share on on our Facebook page 2 Google Drives that I have from Chastity Robinson and I believe Chloe Cox. These are all things I found on YouTube, guys, so you can find all these resources too. That has a Google Drive for leaders, and one of them includes items to put in new consultant packets. So you can either put the links to them on a Google Doc if that's how you want to send it to new recruits, or you can print them out and make a tangible copy, okay? So those are your tasks. It is a little bit more than usual, may take you a little bit more time, but you will thank me later whenever you get your newest recruit and you have these things ready to go, whether that's to ship it out or to send them the link, but you have to have it ready, okay? So I'm going to post that right now in our page so I don't forget. Actually, you know what? I'm going to post it in the comments of this video. So then no one's like, what does this page mean? Okay, so those will both be posted. If you guys have any questions as you're going through any of this stuff, as you're wrapping up this week, if you have questions as you get team members and you want to bounce ideas off of me, I'm not saying I know it all, but I'm happy to try to answer them and help you kind of figure out the path, figure out what kind of leader you want to be. We can learn and grow together, because I'm happy to admit that I don't know everything. But I really, really, really hope that you guys still got something out of this program. Again, I understand it wasn't nearly as intense as Hustle to Director, but I wanted to show you guys that you can still grow your team with small, easy, simple steps that don't have to be big and scary. You can just be yourself, okay? So let me know if you have any questions. I didn't see anyone hop on, but we've been having trouble with our Wi-Fi, so that could be part of it. But if you have questions, just comment them down below. You can always text me at any point. And you know I'll be popping in and out. I'm so proud of you for completing a program. If this is your first one, I'm so proud of you for completing this program. If this is your second one, then go you. You're a total rock star. But just let me know whatever you need from me, okay? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.